All right, boys. So looks like some of you guys may have missed earlier when I was showing you guys some of these salaries for DBA. Yeah, I mean these are just starting DBA jobs. Here's another thing that I want to show you guys. SQL Server, they don't get paid that much. See the SQL Server? That's what 88,000. They don't get paid that much. This is what it is, right? But if you look at these DBA jobs over here, 138, 193. 270, 58, 78, 61, 80. That's pretty low. 127. Eh. All right. 120 a year. 93. Well, this is SQL Server. So we already know that they don't get paid a lot. All right. Yeah, you're not learning to become a SQL Server DBA. You're learning to be an Oracle database administrator, right? SQL servers don't get paid a lot, right? MySQL is still part of Oracle. Yeah. So the jobs are there. There's no question about it. Right? On average, you'll make about 150. If you're making about what, $20 an hour, that's what? Damn near four times the amount of what you're making now. So jobs are there, guys. This is not a matter of whether or not the jobs are there. And I keep stressing Oracle because Oracle is actually the easiest to learn, to be fair. It is the easiest to learn, and it's the least amount of work you do. Something I will say also is that SQL Server DBAs, they work, man. Them SQL servers, man, they be going down like crazy. There's always something that they gotta do, man. That is just not stable at all. So I don't recommend anybody going to SQL Server route at all. Right? You want to go to the Oracle route, okay? So, and shout out to you guys who are inquiring about the course, right? Get in, jump in, right? You got to jump in both feet. Guys, smart investment, man. Right? You're gonna make 150. You can't spend 5 grand. Yeah, that's on you, dog. I don't know what else. I don't know what else to tell you. But you want to spend 500 to make 150? Yeah. What world you living in? I keep it real, man. I'm very transparent about everything I say, dog. Everything I say, I'm transparent about it. You ain't gotta look for the price and all that. Some people try to conceive the price. Well, no, we don't do that. We tell you exactly what it is, so ain't no surprises. We have payment options too. So if you can't pay it all at once, got payment options for you. Just click on the drop down when you go on the site, and it'll show you all the different options you have. That's it, right? Simple and straightforward. It's the same course that I used to get a job. I went from making $17 an hour to 104K. My first job worked for Maxim Healthcare in Columbia, Maryland. Sure was. Man, I couldn't wait for that first paycheck. Oh, that first paycheck felt good. That joint felt good. Man, I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait for that joint to hit my bank account. And you know how it is, right? That first check, you gotta wait 3 weeks before you get it. Bro, I was so broke, man. Like, I interviewed on Wednesday. I got the job on Thursday. They told me to start the job on Monday. I said, no, that's fine. I'll start on Friday because I knew that if I started on Monday, I'd have to wait. Because I'll keep it short. So this is my site, clouduniversity.com. Been teaching for going on over 10 years. I teach people how to make six figures, right? It's really that simple. Six figures. If you want to make six figures, boom, it is what it is, right? Now, we teach you all things as far as related to Oracle database administration. Look at all the courses. We have over 1,000 courses on there, right? But you can learn how to make six figures today. And yes, AI is here, but it's not. It's AI is actually dying if you guys do your research, right? So there's still going to be need for humans to actually do the work, right? I'm not over here trying to teach you guys how to make $1 million. No, I just want to show you guys how to double your salary. So the average black man makes what, $42,000 a year. Cool. Well, I'm gonna teach you how to triple that. Simple enough. You make what, $20 an hour? I'm gonna show you how to make between 60 and $70 an hour after what, 3 months. How hard is that, right? So what you want to do is you want to go to clouduniversity.com, all right, and you want to click on the first. You want to click on the very first video that you guys see. I'm sorry, course that you guys see. This one right here. We have shorter. We have shorter videos that are a little bit more tailored. This gives you everything, but then we have other courses, right? So we have Oracle and AWS for you guys that just want to learn Oracle and AWS. You can just learn that. But if you want the whole shebang, yep, it's right there, right? Now you may ask yourself, well, why is it so expensive? Well, that it's relative, right? If you want to go back to college, that's going to cost you at least what 100 to 200 grand with room on board, and that's going to take you 4 years. But with Cloud University, it's only going to take you 3 months, 3 short months, and you're making $70 an hour. I think it's a good deal. So, guys, hit the link in the description. Book a call on Calendly or whatever, and we can talk. We can sit down and we can talk for about 30 minutes and see whether or not we're a good fit. All right, guys, talk to you soon. Peace. 2 paychecks, so basically a month, in order for me to get my paycheck, right? So I said, even if it's just for 1 day, right? I'm gonna start on Friday. So the next pay period was that next Friday. So I got like, I don't know, I got like 450 or something like that. Bruh, I needed every bit of that 450, dog. I'm serious. Right. And then the next paycheck, the next cycle, I caught up. Like I was in line with everything, because every 2 weeks I was getting paid. So man, I needed that, man. I remember them days, dog. But hey, for you guys who are struggling a little bit, dude, borrow that money, man. Like, I don't care what you do. I borrow money from my mom, right? Best money she ever gave me. I think at the time, like, I spent like, I can't even remember how much the courses were at the time. This was so long ago. But I didn't have the money, and my mom hooked me up. This money well spent. But all right, let's learn a few things, right? So when I do host CLS, right? This is in Windows how you clear your screen to make everything look pretty. So let's recap. So when I do show name, right? Are you guys getting it now? I do the same thing over and over again so you guys understand, right? So it becomes easy for you guys, right? And these are the same commands that you would use in Linux, other than the host CLS. In Linux, you do host clear, right? But I show you all this in the course itself, right? But as far as the SQL commands, same thing, no different, right? So show user. So if I do show, I want to know who I'm connecting that show user. Show user. All right, so I'm connected as sys, right? So if I do host name. So if I do host, what I do host and then host name, right? So if I exited out of SQL, so like if I'm inside the Oracle database, but I want to do something on the operating system, right? I would have to say that I run this command as host, run this command on the host machine, right? Which is basically your what you call it, your operating system, right? Remember, we install the database on the operating system. Real simple, right? So let's see what else. What else? What other command? Anyway, let's go into SQL, right? All right. So we have show user. We have show con name. Let's get the status of all our PDBs, right? So do select open mode name from v containers, right? So you can see everything is in read write, and if it's in read write, it means it's completely open. Anybody can do DMLs, DDLs, and DCLs. We went over DMLs, DDLs, and DCLs, right? DMLs are what? Select, insert, update, delete, merge. DDLs would be your alter, create, drop, truncate. DCLs would be rollback, commit, save point. Make sense? All right. We haven't gotten to the DDL or DCLs yet, but we will. All right. Right now, we're just focused on what? Select. So, what is select? Once again, select is basically what? It is basically, I just want to see what's inside this goddamn table, dog. I just want to see. I'm not trying to change anything. I just want to see. Out of all the commands, you're going to do select the most. You're really going to do select the most. In fact, all other DMLs and DCLs are really for the developers to do because they're the ones that actually play and manage the data, right? They're the ones who change the data, import new data, and so on and so forth. That's not your job as a DB. You do need to know what they're doing. You understand? You understand. You need to understand what they're doing. And from time to time, you might create tables back and forth. But in the production environment, no, you leave them. You leave the production environment alone. You never touch that. So inside your company, you could have multiple environments. You could have the production environment, which is the big boss. You could have your test environment, and then you can have your dev environment, right? The dev environment is where the developers actually work. The test environment is where they actually do the testing after they've done it. So they clone each other, right? They clone each other. So how do they clone each other, right? This is through another tool called Golden Gate. And I teach that in the course as well. I'll show you guys how to implement Golden Gate in your environment, how to, you know, how to make one table replicate into another table in a different environment, right? So anytime you do any DML, DDL, whatever, it automatically updates the test environment as well, and it automatically updates the production environment as well. So they're all in sync. So this way, when the developers actually want to change something, right, they can test it first in the dev environment, and then the test environment, and then ultimately in the prod. Right? Make sense? So, and they have a schedule where they do all these things in prod and stuff. So anyway, so that's that. But we do teach Golden Gate, we teach Data Guard, we teach Rack, and so on and so forth, right? So what is Data Guard and what is Rack? So a lot of you guys might be wondering as well. Data Guard is used for data protection. That's basically what it is, for data protection, right? So you have your production environment and you want to make sure that you have, so for instance, you have a primary server, you have a standby server, right? So essentially what you're saying is everything I do on this one server, I want it to be done on that server as well, right? It's a standby database. So in case this server goes down, we can what? Bring this guy back up, all right? And it'll be like nothing happened, like nothing changed. You understand what I'm saying? Rack, on the other hand, is different, right? This is for duplicity, all right? So what I mean by that is simple. If I have a database, for instance, and I want to put that database on multiple servers. So for instance, let's say if I have a huge company, I have a company of say 1,000 people, right? I don't want to put 1,000 people on just one server, right? That's not cool, right? Because if something happens to that one server, then and we just have that one database on that one server. Everybody, number one, everybody's pinging the same server and resources are going to be strained, right? Because everybody's trying to get resources. That's number one. Number two, if something were to happen to that database on that one server, everybody's screwed. So you don't want to do that. This is where Rack comes in. So what Rack allows you to do is it allows you to put shadow instances across multiple servers or nodes. So a node, an instance, a server, they're all the same thing. So you can put one database, and when you're creating your Rack infrastructure, right? You tell it beforehand, okay, these are the amount of different servers in the cluster node, right? So you have one server and then you can have 10 different clusters. So what's going to do is remember when I showed you guys how to create a database? You create a database and it'll ask you, okay, you want to put this on all the different nodes or identify all the different nodes. So once you identify all the nodes, it's going to propagate itself, right, to all these 10 different nodes. So how does that help? So then what you then do is you split all the customers, the 1,000 into 100 apiece. So let's say all the people in HR, all the people in IT, all the people in finance, all the people in whatever, right? Accounting, right? They all connect to different servers without them even knowing that they're connecting to a different server. That's not their business. All they care about is the data. And all the data is the same. It is universal across all the different nodes. Make sense? So that's the thing with RAC. Now, what does Golden Gate do? Golden Gate is real simple. Just like I explained earlier. Golden Gate it's an in-time replication process, right? So anytime you do something, anytime you do a DML, anytime you do a DML in server one, it propagates to the other servers, right? So that's how it works. Can you have Golden Gate on the same server? Sure, you can. You absolutely can, right? But yeah, most of the time they don't. Most companies don't. They have it on different servers, but it just kind of replicates itself from that, right? Now, what's the difference between Rack and Golden Gate? Real simple. Rack is way more complicated to set up, dude. You really got to know what you're doing, right? There's a bunch of scripts you got to download, and then you got to make sure there's so many things, right? Like the servers have to talk. There's cache fusion involved. There's private IPs, public IPs. There's subnets you got to set up that are different. Yeah, and physically you have to connect all these different computers together with a router, right? So because they got to talk somewhere. That's not your job at all, but I do show you guys how to do that in the videos, like how you know it from a fundamental, from the fundamental basic setup. I show you guys in the videos how to do a 3-node rack cluster, right? It doesn't matter if it's 3 or 10, but I show you guys everything from the baseline. So if you guys ever get a job that's involved with rack, real application clusters, you guys already know what time it is, right? You guys will understand exactly what's going on, right? We do everything from scratch here, right? We don't assume you know anything, right? And then with Rack, there's so many different commands, right? That you got to learn. Like there's server control, there's cluster control, there's the commands are a little bit different, right? But out of all the things that are hard to maintain, yeah, I would say Golden Gate is the hardest. If it's going fine, it's fine. But when it starts giving you issues, yeah, it could be a pain. And most of the time with Golden Gate, it's probably the issue that I find is they're probably not indexes placed on a table because at the end of the day, you're just changing little data in one table in one environment. And then that same data should propagate to the same table name in a different environment, right? So a lot of duplicate records because what happens is in Golden Gate is if enough indexes are not on that table, and I'll explain indexes a little bit later, right? If indexes are not on that table, if there's a duplicate record in that table, the whole Golden Gate will just stop because say, hey, dude, I'm seeing a duplicate record. You need to fix this or else I won't be able to push that data across screen. Make sense? So you get that quite a bit. I remember when I was working for the federal government. Yeah, I got that quite a bit the first year. It was a pain in the ass. But eventually we got it together. It was fine. Right. So I just explained to you the 3 different types of Oracle stuff, and then you have your SQL. Your what is it? It's not SQL Server. Anyway, it's not SMS. I forget. It starts with S. But anyway, it's basically the GUI for Oracle, right? This is what you use to manage. You can do the same commands. You can use the same commands inside of that. It's a lot easier to look at, like things that you would do, like backing up a database. You can just right click on that sucker and do it. You can create database links. Anyway, I'm going above and beyond explain that. But yeah, just wanted to give you guys a little bit of heads up, right? Some of the things you will be learning in your YouTube journey. All right, cool. But right now we're just doing the fundamentals. All right. So right now we are in, did I do show clone name? Yes, we're in the CDB root. So let's go here. So what I want to do is I want to switch I want to switch to a different container database, right? So what do we do? Alter session set container to equal to ORCL PDB. I know a lot of you guys might be thinking like this is just the way like we're going to be teaching. No, not at all. And in the course, no, it's fun. And I purposely did it that way because you guys need mental breaks a lot. And you're going to have a lot of mental breaks while you're digesting this information, a lot of mental breaks. So you can see the students actually asking questions, the jokes we make. You know, it's fun. But then you will have a different subset of videos where it's just me doing this stuff, right? Because we give you projects and you gotta know how to do it, right? So we kind of break it up that way because it's just a lot easier. Yeah. All right. So we are here, right? Okay. So now what I want to do is I just want to create a basic table. Select. So remember what I told you guys, it's always select something from something, right? Or select some things from something, right? You can never, well, I can't say you never select from two tables. I mean, you can with subqueries, but anyway, just from a very basic standpoint, you can select multiple columns from one table. That's it, all right? So select distinct user name from DB users. So I just want to see how many users we actually have in this bad boy, right? Okay, so I want to see what tables user John has, right? Select table name from DBA tables where username equals John. See how easy that is? So now I told you guys that you have to put the characters with quotes. Select from DBA tables. That's tables. Where username equal to John. I'm sure you guys are copy and paste for a reason. I want you guys to do that. All right. Oh, sorry. Where owner. Sorry. Where owner equals John. Right. Okay. So user John has absolutely no tables, right? So keep saying invalid. I want you guys to see these errors, right? Invalid identifier. What it's saying is I'm selecting a column in this table that doesn't exist. So in this one, table name didn't exist in DBA users and username didn't exist in DBA tables, right? To know that, you do what? You describe the table, describe DBA tables, right? See that? You can only select what you see on the left, right? So you can see there's owner, there's no username. There's no username, right? You see that? It's no username. So what I want to do is just for now, I'll show you guys how to create in the future. So I just want to create a table for user John, right? Create table John. Okay, I'm connected to sys. So if I want to put this schema into John's, if I want to create this table and I want John to own it, I do a create table John that dot, let's say employees, right? And then I simply just do what? ID, these are column names, ID, number, and then name for car 2. Let's give it 25. 25. I'll explain what this means in a bit. It needs to be varchar, not hot. Var, varchar 2, 25. Okay, so this table is created. All right. So let's insert some data. I'll explain what this means in a bit, but let's do it. So insert into John employees. Then what you do is you do ID number, or if you just want to be, if you know you just do values. Then you do 1, comma, John. No privilege on the table. So what I need to do is do it. Alter user John quota quota unlimited on users table space on users. Okay, so that's another error that you guys might see, right? When you create a user, he needs to have a certain quota on the users tables. We'll talk about table space a lot later, right? So now I'm just going to go. I'm just going to copy this guy again. I'm going to paste. Cool, created. So I'm just going to do this again. And this is the cool thing about Windows. It allows you to copy and paste Windows. Shit, we ain't copying and pasting the goddamn thing. Let's do Tammy. Put that in quotes. You follow? Paste this again. 3. And I do Smith. Doesn't matter what you call it. So another one, paste. 4. Andy. Okay, cool. So what we did was I showed you guys how to create a table, and I'll explain what all this means. And I just needed to create this table just to put some data in. Right, we're not there yet. We'll do this many weeks from now, but I just want to show you guys a few things. Right. So you create a table because we didn't have any tables to play with. Right. So create table John. All right, John.employees, right? And then what we did was we increased the quota of John to be unlimited so he can basically create as much things as he wants in the user's table space. And then also we inserted data into the John.employee table, right? As sys. So remember if I do show user, you see I'm sys. So I'm creating these tables on behalf of John, right? I can do that because I'm sys, right? But if John was actually connected to the database, he wouldn't need John at employees. He wouldn't. He would just do insert into employees. He would just do create table employees, right? But because I'm doing it on behalf of somebody else, I gotta give that person the proper respect and ownership and put that there, right? Okay, so we inserted data into the table, but remember I told you guys last time, if it's a DML, what must you do? Think about it. What did I tell you guys you must do? All right. Give you 3 more seconds. You gotta commit, dude. You gotta commit. If it's a DML, you gotta commit, right? Because right now the database is in flux. It's not quite sure you're committed. You didn't put a ring on it, though. You didn't put a ring on it. You got to put a ring on it. So what do? You just type what commit. Cool. Now that you commit, it is final. It's done. You can't go back and type rollback. Remember rollback, like I showed you guys last. You can't do rollback. It's over, right? You can't do rollback. So if I do, yeah, I mean, you just can't do rollback, right? So now, if I want to see all the data inside of Jonathan employees, I should do what? Select star. Star is everything. You're going to do this a lot. Select star, all the columns from John dot employees. I do the same thing over and over again so you guys get it. I don't skip, right? See that? Boom! Look at that table, right? So this is what the table would look like. You can see the columns. These are the column names, ID and name, and this is actually the data that's in there. Right? Make sense? Now going back here, and I'll end the video with this, right? Create table, John. So John at employees. This is the name of the table that we created. It's a brand new table. It's called employees, and the owner is John. Okay. Now, what these are the columns, right? When you give the column, when you add a column, right? You can add as many columns as you want. It's up to you. Just depends on what you're using the table for, right? So the name of the column is ID, and you've got to give it a data type. You got to give it a data type. Okay, what types of data go inside of this column, right? Is it a character, right? Which is just straight letters. If it's character, it's letters. If it's a varchar, which means variable characters, which means numbers, letters, special characters, whatever, that's when you use varchar, right? So those are, if you have Boolean, it's either yes or no, right? That's what Boolean is, and so those are the main ones you're going to use. You're going to use numbers. You're going to character or car. You're going to use varchar two. It's always varchar two. Don't ask me why they have to put the two there. Just it is what it is, varchar two. And you're going to use Boolean as well, right? So, and most people use varchar two. And this is just simply because it's just all inclusive. So you can never go wrong with a varchar 2. I could have put varchar 2 with this ID because it accepts everything. Numbers, letters, special characters, a combination of everything. Doesn't matter, right? But since this is ID, I'll just use number. It's fine. Name, I could have used car as well. I could have used car. But there are some people with last names that's hyphenated. Then what do you do? Right? This is why it's always suggested that you use what? Varchar, variable character for names, right? So that's why we use that. So use Varchar 2. And then what you see here, this 25, is the length, the maximum length of how long each person's name should be, right? So if you try to put somebody whose last name goes over 25, you're not going to be able to load that row. It's going to tell you, hey, dude, like, we just can't do it, right? You'd have to come back over here and you'd have to change this to 35, 30, whatever it is, right? It could be less than 25. It just can't be more than 25. Okay? Make sense? So that's going to sum up the video for today, right? We did some good work today, right? Some pretty good work. We learned how to insert data, how to create data, how to create tables, insert data. Showed you guys two DMLs and a DDL alter, and we did inserts, and we did create another DDL. I showed you guys how to fix little errors that you guys might encounter. When you see invalid identifier, that's an automatic clue that you're trying to put a column that is not here inside this table. Sorry, inside this table. Under DBA tables, there is no such thing as table name. So there's no such thing as username. And Oracle will help you out, right? Because it'll put a star underneath what it's having an issue with, right? Username is not there, right? It's only owner. Make sense? And table name, same thing. Table name, it's having an issue with table name in the DBA users. There is no table name in DBA users. Make sense? All right. So, guys, hit the like, hit the subscribe, guys. Subscribe to the channel, and for you guys who want to talk more about this and just want more information, you can book a Calendly session with me where we talk for about 30 minutes. But if you guys were ready to get on board and rock and roll, dude, the link is in the description. Just click on that. You want to go to the 200K Oracle DBA course. That's all inclusive. You want to do that, right? And then jump aboard. We'll ship you out your laptop and be part of our group, our mentorship group. We have a bunch of other students who are there already, kicking ass, right? All right, guys, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the share, and give me a notification. Let me know what you think about the course. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.